Hey everybody, I'm Sean Robinson,
I'm Brendan Graham.
and welcome to Living the Line. How you doing, Brandon?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. We're doing a little bit of show and tell here, and Brandon, I believe you're going to be showing and telling.
Yes, I
What do you
have a
got
video
for
I've
us?
not watched in a decade that we will attempt to go through together.
All right.
This is a 1986 Inky Bilal 4-minute
Wow.
documentary.
How do you make a 4-minute documentary? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if the audio on this is
You lived around here?
in English even.
Don't know.
So they're just interviewing drifters about Inky Bilal. It's like,
He's an artist. Bilal writes comic strips. He tells stories using words and pictures. He was
there's
born
the
in
end.
Yugoslavia with a Yugoslav father and a Czech mother, and came to France when he was 10. Today, he's 33 years old.
Today he's a cool dude. John, do you know Inky Bilal's work very well?
No, not very well at all. No.
So he did this series called the Nicopol trilogy over here that he then directed a movie based
Bilal
on.
told us when he wanted
Hmm.
to portray his own private universe with a pencil and
Cameraman's a
paintbrush,
pervert.
he felt he had one choice between two essential types: nature and the country, or the urban world, the city.
He does have kind of a 1986 Dave Sim look to him here.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, this is a great character. This is from his book, The Woman Trap. This woman with blue
Hmm.
hair and white skin.
He says he's always found it more
And
interesting graphically.
she's
to
in a
work
relationship with
hard
an
images,
alien who can't
situations which reach
interact
out
with
and
the sun
grab
at
him
all, so she
and
never
dress
sees
him
what he
almost,
looks like.
rather than paint a bed of
And he's
roses
immortal
and
and has pills that he takes to take out his memory so he doesn't go crazy.
Wow.
And this, of
And
course, is the god Horus, uh,
of course,
who comes down and gets this guy who's stuck in a space prison to be his host and gives him a fake
Bilal
metal leg.
always wanted to treat things with a past that are charged with history.
It's
was
very
was he popular enough to warrant the documentary, or did they think that they just thought that the subject was interesting enough that?
I think he's a big deal in Europe just because he's a movie director as well. So he's directed at least 3 or 4 movies.
It would be a
He did one
mistake
called
to read
Tycho
only
Moon.
pessimism into Enki
Um,
Bilal's work. He's not trying to forecast the future and finds himself incapable of saying how the world will evolve. He admits he's no optimist either, just like everybody else. He draws these images and tells these stories because it's a world he feels at home in. The reader can always invent his own pictures to go in the spaces in between.
I think this is from another series he did with a writer named Christian, which is a kind of political intrigue.
Huh.
His political intrigue stuff I pay less attention to than his weird science fiction.
Right.
Yeah, he has such cool ideas. He did one series that I think came out about a decade ago, which is about a kind of a stand-in for himself, who's a scientist who's trying to slowly remember the day he was born.
When
He's trying
Bilal
to,
works with the story
he's like a
writer,
memory
the
expert that
scenario
keeps
comes
like
before the
remembering younger and
pictures.
younger.
When he works alone, the pictures tend to come first and the text later. The main thing is to tell a story, not just link a series of gratuitous images together with any old words. A good story.
That sounds like a shot fired at someone.
Right.
He actually tells stories, unlike some of you people.
Follow me.
Oh,
All right.
yeah. What's your impression of the Inky Bilal? We'll call it a documentary.
Well, I mean, that's a here. Let's turn off your screen. It's incredible. I mean, the imagery is wild. I would be very curious to know the circumstances of some of those shots. Some of those seem like a TV guy is like, ah, finally, I get to film something real. Stand in front of that thing and smoke.
Yeah, essentially. So
I found these bums in a car.
I expected them to show more of his process in that because I've
Right.
seen he's an artist. If I remember right, he draws his panels individually, almost like a painter.
Hmm.
Like he'll paint. I mean, they are painted, but he he'll have them more like a single illustration and then paste them all together for a page. And I've seen Milo Manara pages are similar. Like Manara draws his pages by rows, so it almost looks like a newspaper strip, and then they'll make a page of it by layering. But which is interesting, but it kind of limits how, like, I think it makes it more of an illustration in some ways than a comic, but I think it limits how crazy you can get on page layouts because you're working with these very structured.
Yeah. Well, I think that the documentary, if we can call it that,
Oh,
definitely has achieved its effect in me, in that I want to go out and buy all this stuff. So, mission accomplished. If that was their goal. Also, a
yeah.
very interesting view of what was that, mid '80s France.
Yeah, I think that's a fun thing about seeing the comic documentaries is or when you find old anything like that, it's always it's supposed to be like, this is the life of this artist, and you get so caught up on being like, look at the weird cigarettes they're smoking back then.
The thing doesn't have any filter at all.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a fascinating cartoonist, and he's one of those guys that like really enables me to allow myself to be slower and work on quality when that's the mentality I'm in, because he's a guy, like I always think there's certain cartoonists where you get this gigantic body of work, like a Tezuka or something, where he's got comics you love and comics you wouldn't love. But Bilal has so many fewer comics that I feel like, in my mind, he's done probably like 4 great comics, but in my mind I always think it was a 1-book cartoonist, because the book The Woman Trap is the main thing by him that I'm connect to his work. And that one they did a really interesting thing with, where it has all these crazy science fiction ideas in it. It's only like a 48-page middle of a trilogy, but it comes with a printed out newspaper that is, the main character has a thing called a script walker, where she types out news stories, and then they're transported back in time to the past. And so guys in the 80s are getting her news stories and be like, these are from the future, let's publish these. And that's the news, a physical little newspaper that comes with a printed comic.
That is awesome. All right, well, I'll have to pick that up. And if you enjoyed this little bite of show and tell, and you like this format, let us know. And if you didn't like this format, well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get better at doing these the more we do.
Are you saying we've been very bad at it so far?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, but the people will be they'll watch our growth, and that'll make they'll be proud of us like a young child learning to walk.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for the next thing that you show me. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Bilal.